Okay, so picture this. Ward C. It's not your average sunshine and rainbows hospital wing. Oh no, this place is run by the most wonderfully grumpy nurses you'll ever meet. These aren't your bubbly, how are we feeling today? Types. These are the state your ailment, preferably in 5 words or less professionals. They are, in a word, iconic. Their dedication is fierce, even if their smiles are rare. They just have a very specific way of showing they care. It usually involves a sigh, or an eye roll, but it's care, trust me. First up, there's Nurse Agnes. Agnes believes in order. Absolute, unyielding order. Her pens must be arranged by color spectrum. Her clipboard must be at a perfect 90-degree angle to the desk edge. If you mess with her system, prepare for a silent, withering glare that could curdle milk. She communicates mostly through precisely raised eyebrows. One eyebrow up means questionable. Both eyebrows up means absolutely not. It's a whole language, and we all learn it. Fast, because Agnes knows best, usually. Then we have Nurse Bartholomew, or Barty, as no one actually calls him to his face. Barty is a medical encyclopedia with legs and impressively mismatched socks. He can diagnose a rare tropical disease from a single cough, but ask him about the weather? Blank stare. Small talk is his kryptonite. He prefers the company of textbooks and his collection of vintage medical instruments, which he sometimes talks to. We don't judge. Much. He's a genius, okay? A socially awkward, grumpy genius. And rounding out our dream team is Nurse Claudette. Claudette has no filter. None. If your new haircut looks like a startled badger, Claudette will tell you. Not to be mean, but because, in her words, facts are friends. She also has an uncanny ability to find the one thing you're trying to hide, like that secret chocolate bar, or your fear of needles. She sees all. Her grumpiness is legendary, but so is her skill at calming the most terrified patient with a gruff, "Oh, for goodness sake, it's just a tiny prick." A Tuesday morning in Ward C starts early and loud. Well, not people loud, more like equipment beeping loud. Agnes is already there, of course. She's probably been there since dawn. She's recalibrating the coffee machine. Again. Because someone used the decaf setting yesterday. The horror. Barty shuffles in, muttering about the flawed design of the hospital's ventilation system. He's probably right. He usually is. He avoids eye contact with everyone, which is fine. We're all still waking up. The morning medication round is a masterclass in grumpy efficiency. Agnes dispenses pills with the precision of a Swiss watchmaker. Each cup is labeled. Each patient is double-checked. Any interruption is met with the look. You know the one. Barty, meanwhile, is explaining the molecular structure of aspirin to a sleeping patient. He finds it fascinating. The patient, probably not so much. But hey, maybe they're learning through osmosis. Or not. It's Barty's way. Lunchtime is a sacred, solitary ritual for most of them. Agnes eats her perfectly portioned salad at her perfectly clean desk. Claudette microwaves something that smells suspiciously like last night's very spicy curry. She eats standing up, alert, ready for anything, or maybe just impatient. Barty often forgets to eat. He gets lost in a medical journal, or he's dismantling the toaster to improve its thermal efficiency. We just slide a sandwich near him and hope for the best. Afternoon brings new admissions and new opportunities for grumbling. Claudette greets a new patient who is complaining loudly about the parking. "Well, you're here now, aren't you?" she says, not unkindly, just directly. Agnes is already reorganizing the new patient's bedside table. "This is not optimal," she declares to the air. "The flowers are clearly in the wrong spot. The water pitcher is askew. It's a travesty. But she'll fix it, she always does, because order must prevail." Interactions between our grumpy trio are a special kind of comedy. Agnes will sigh dramatically if Barty leaves a research paper on her meticulously organized filing cabinet. "Bartholomew, this is a high-traffic zone for essential documents, not a repository for your musings on fungal infections." Barty will just blink. Then he'll launch into a detailed explanation of why that particular fungal infection is, in fact, relevant to current patient demographics. Claudette just rolls her eyes at both of them. "Can we focus on the actual sick people, please? Patient interactions are where their unique brands of care shine. A child is scared of getting a shot. Agnes surprisingly softens, just a little. She explains the process in very small, very calm steps. First, the small wipe. It will feel cool. Then, a tiny pinch, like a mosquito. Then, a colorful bandage. Claudette, on the other hand, might say, "Look, it's 2 seconds of ow for a whole lot of not being sick." Your choice, kid. Surprisingly, this often works. Kids appreciate honesty, even blunt honesty. Barty once spent an hour explaining the cardiovascular system to a very elderly patient. The patient just nodded along, smiling. Later, the patient's daughter said, "He's mostly deaf, you know, but he loves it when people talk to him." Barty looked confused. But the systolic pressure readings are crucial. He genuinely wanted to share knowledge, even if it wasn't fully received. It's his way of connecting, in his own wonderfully awkward, grumpy way. He means well. He really, really does. Then there are the little things. The way Agnes always makes sure the quietest patients get an extra blanket, even if she grumbles about the laundry service. The way Barty will leave a particularly interesting, to him, medical article on a colleague's desk, as a gift. Or the way Claudette shares her secret stash of surprisingly good biscuits during a tough shift. They don't say "I care." They show it, in their own grumpy, roundabout, and utterly reliable ways. It's a language of its own. So why do we put up with the sighs, the glares, the lectures on obscure medical phenomena? Because beneath the grumpy exteriors are hearts of pure, unadulterated gold. Agnes's obsession with order means mistakes are incredibly rare on her watch. She's a guardian of safety. Her meticulous nature has saved the day more times than we can count. She sees the details no one else does, and those details matter. A lot, especially in a hospital. Barty's social awkwardness and intense focus mean he solves medical puzzles that leave others stumped. He's not distracted by office gossip, or, basic social niceties. He's thinking, always thinking, about how to make things better, how to heal. His grumbling about inefficient protocols often leads to actual improvements. He's a reluctant hero, with questionable sock choices, but a hero nonetheless. We need his brain, desperately. Claudette's brutal honesty, it cuts through the fear and the fluff. She tells patients what they need to hear, not always what they want to hear, but it's effective. She motivates, she empowers, she doesn't coddle, and sometimes that's exactly what you need when you're scared and sick. Her gruffness is a shield, for her, and sometimes for her patients too. She's tougher than a $2 steak, and just as reliable. In the chaotic, stressful world of a hospital, these grumpy nurses are our anchors. They're not always sunny, they're definitely not always chipper, but they are always there. They care deeply, so deeply that they can't be bothered with superficial pleasantries. They're too busy actually saving lives, and making sure the pens are in the right order. So, here's to the grumpy autism nurses. May their coffee be strong, and their patients surprisingly compliant. We wouldn't have them any other way.